And let's bring in Deborah Weinswig. She is a Coresight Research founder, CEO, for more on the retail conversation. Deborah, great to see you here today. What do you make of these latest numbers here? A little bit hot on the monthly, but there's always a little bit more going on inside the report.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think as you kind of, look at some of the nuances and whatnot, we are definitely seeing some really interesting dichotomies around strengths and weaknesses, specifically in retail. So, for example, the food at home market is up about 13.5%. Apparel is very stable, actually at 5.1, and that's pretty impressive considering some of the pressure we've seen on cotton prices. And then a lot of other kind of daily items like housekeeping supplies, that's also creeped up 11.7% year on year, and then personal care at 6. So what we're seeing is almost this kind of, tale of two sectors, right? The essentials and non-essentials. And unfortunately, it's the essentials where we are seeing kind of that greater inflation rate.
And here's the other rub of it, and I'm looking at some of your notes here. As you point out, the retail sales for August, 8.3%, but when you take in I was quoting a different number. So total CPI, as quoted by the BLS for August, that's 8.3%, but then you take in the retail sales numbers for this month, we have a negative number. So consumer inflation really socking it to the consumer here. How does that fit into your narrative that the essential goods are getting the biggest squeeze here?
I think it was interesting. We went through all the numbers, and when you really start to look at and it's funny, right? You were out with people and everyone was talking about the cost of eggs. Well, the reason that everybody's talking about the cost of eggs is in August, they were up 39.8%. And so you start to think about flour up 23.3, milk up 17, and hot dogs, right? Up 18.3. So really, we're talking really the staples of one's diet. I don't know about you on the hot dogs, but it's staple of mine. And so it, as we think about that, it is a challenge. And I think we are seeing the consumer actually stronger than some in many ways. And I think those of us on the research side would think.
Yeah, you got to imagine when Costco is going to raise the price of their $1.50 hot dogs. But switching gears a little bit, also inside the report, you're noting that apparel is stable. Just wondering if there are some bright spots for the consumer where maybe they're not still getting hit so much with those price increases, at least year over year.
Yeah, I mean, I think apparel is absolutely one of those areas. Also, kind of a lot of the, anything, and it makes a lot of sense, right? Anything video, audio, really consumer electronics, because there is a bit of excess of that in the system right now. And as we look at, moving into the holiday season, which, kind of pulls earlier and earlier every year, to the point that we're already unbelievably starting to see some, and actually one thing that was really interesting, for the first time ever, we saw Halloween sell out in many areas, especially on, kind of the costume side much earlier. So what we're seeing is the consumers pulling a lot of that spending early to make sure that they have enough bandwidth. So I think because it's been so well communicated, the consumer is starting to behave in different ways that, may have longer term implications on the positive.
Deborah, I got to tell you, we're about 6 weeks out for October's Halloween festivities, and you're saying it's already early. I would have thought this is pretty early. But just let me ask you about the holiday season. We've seen a number of retailers come out with their recent earnings report. We're expecting some more in the next few weeks, and there's a lot of inventory, and consumers are expecting some discounting. Is it possible that the consumer is holding out for some purchases, at least for the holiday season, that they may be able to perceive snapping up at a discount here?
Absolutely. I think this will be the season of deals, especially if you want furniture or yoga pants, right? Those are the two areas that, we are seeing. And I would say anything more on that kind of athleisure side. But, in 20 and 21, the consumer was able to, kind of buy a lot of that product. Retailers kept ordering. So there are certain categories where it is also, I would say, you are going to get some unbelievable deals. I do think that we're starting to see retailers already plan as of actually early as October 1. So if you think about it, we haven't even hit Halloween, and we're going to be seeing this pull forward of some of the deals earlier so that the consumer can better estimate, if you will, their holiday budget. I think this will probably be one of the best holidays on record for the consumer. Once again, everything in that non-essential space, it's really the essentials where I think we're going to see, some of the greater challenges. But I think that we will see some great deals, especially on some of the bigger ticket, right? Anything consumer electronics, furniture, which is usually unheard of at this time of year for this kind of discounting that we're expecting. I think it's going to be great.
Well, I am looking forward to some of those deals. Too bad we're paying elevated prices for our essentials right now. Deborah Weinswig, Coresight Research founder, CEO. Thank you.